Alright, the first limited time series of the version 6.6 featuring the Beamer M8 GTE is over now. Let's check out the limited time series number 2, which is for the Porsche 909 Bergspyder. Alright, so let's see. Win a Porsche 909 Bergspyder by 100% completing this special limited time series, said to have hit 100 kph or 62 miles per hour in 2.4 seconds, faster than the modern McLaren P1 hypercar. Yeah, this one really stretching the definition of what a car is, right? Anyway, the usual. We got 15 tiers, 45 events to complete. The 45 gold trophies we're gonna need to win the car, plus how much gold was it? 50 gold, right? 20, 30, 40, 50, yeah. So I think on their website they published in order to complete you need a PR 62.4 or something like that. So let's use gold and see if we can confirm that. So there's the 100% completion, and of course you'll get the car. Alright, and then it unlocks a bonus series, Mountain Spider. So it's not part of, what do you call it, the motorsports. But let's check out the final PR requirement. Is it going to be actually 62.4? Yes, it is. Alright, so the way it worked out for the last car we had to win was by getting 3 upgrades across the board. So let's see how that turns out with this one. So starting PR is of course 50.3, so we got some ways to go. That's a whole 12.1 PR boost that we're gonna need. So yeah, so here we go. Full 7 categories. So we'll start with the engine, and I'll just use gold to upgrade instantly, so I don't have to wait 2.5 hours for the upgrades to kick in. So let's see. Here, we'll just do the first round and see where that takes me. So engine gets me up to 50.9, then drivetrain gets me to 51.5, and then body gets me up to 52 even, and then suspension gets me up to 52.6, and then we got 3 more for the first round of upgrades, the tier 1 upgrade, and the exhaust gets me up to 53.2, and the brakes gets me up to 53.1, 53.7. What am I saying? My mind is elsewhere. I'm looking at the numbers and I'm reading. I'm telling you guys something else, so just ignore me. Anyway, and the final tires and wheels first round cash upgrade will bring your PR up to 54.3. Alright, so that's a boost of about 4, right? So another 4 maybe we'll get from the second tier upgrade, and another 4 from third tier upgrade. Then that'll bring us pretty darn close to the target, 62.4, right? So let's find out what the gold upgrade, typically the second round of upgrades, right? The second tier will bring us to. Let's see, and we'll have to kind of keep track of how much gold we're using as well. Or I can just keep track of it by Oh yeah, okay, so engine 36, and that unlocks the cash upgrade next tier. And then 34, so these are going to be in the 30s. So with the drivetrain, it's what, 70 gold spent? And then another 26 for body, so that's 96. And then suspension is 30, so 126, right? And so far they're all gold upgrades for the second tier. And another 34 exhaust, so what are we up to? 126, is that right? So 156. And then 24 for brakes, so that's what, 180, I think. And then another 28, so 208, right? Does that sound about right? So that's how much it cost to bring get the second tier upgrade to bring your PR up to 58.4. So that's another about 4-point PR boost, right? Remember, we started at like 50, so now the third tier upgrades should be cash. They were when I was getting the second tier upgrades. So let's see what the PR is gonna be what the final PR is gonna be with the third tier upgrades done. So this is all gonna be 8-hour cash upgrades for the third round of upgrades. So engine will bring our PR up to 59 even. Drivetrain 59.6. And then body brings it up to 60.1. Alright. And then suspension brings it up to 60.7. So the way things are looking, we got 3 more to go, right? So this is looking pretty promising. So exhaust gets us up to 61.3. And then the brakes bring us very close, 61.8. And don't double tap. And then tires and wheels brings us up to exactly 62.4. Alright, so what was it? 208 gold is what I added up for the gold upgrades that you have to get to bring the PR up to 62.4. I think that's got to be the cheapest path, because the next ones are going to be all gold, I think, right? And they're pricier, so yeah. It's not the most expensive car, but still, 208 gold is, they all add up, right? Because we got a few different, how many limited time series do we have in this one? Like 6 or 7, right? So it's quite a few. And of course, we got the special event featuring that new Porsche 911 GT. What was it again? I don't remember exactly, but it was one of the new 911s that's going to be starting in a couple of days or so. So that's what you're going to need to bring your PR up to the requirement. And let's check out what kind of races we got in this event here. Because most of these events you can win if you play your cards right. And by that, I mean not win by a huge margin. Generally, you can run through a lot of these events without having to necessarily service the car, especially if you start out with all the upgrades that you're going to need right away. Then only thing that usually is going to get in your way of victory is going to be either speed record or speed snap. Any other type of events, typically you should be able to handle it. So, and not just any like speed record. Speed record at Suzuka East can be little challenging if you're running in red. But of course, typically the remedy for that is if you turn around at the beginning of the track and basically make the main pit straight longer, then typically you can beat the target speed even with your car in red. But we'll see as I run through this series if I can pull that off. And then tier 14, we got a speed snap at Brands Hatch, and that's gonna be kind of the same idea because actually speed snap you cannot extend it any longer than what you're already given. So, alright, that might get tiny bit tricky. But the ones that are usually really impossible are either speed snap at Mount Panorama, Bathurst, right? That one's usually if your car is in red. Typically, that's essentially where you have to service your car. Especially if you're running with a bare minimum PR required. And then let's see, what are some other Daytona? When they have speed record, sometimes that can either take multiple repeats to bring the bot speed down, or you have to turn around at the beginning and extend the main straight. The reason why I said the Suzuka it's not a big deal is because Suzuka East, that main straight is much shorter. So turning around at the beginning and rerunning it doesn't take nearly as long as if you were to do it at places like Daytona, which is a pretty good stretch that you have to turn back to typically take full advantage of that outer oval section, right? So that's why I'm like, yeah, if I get stuck with the Daytona, it might be more efficient use of your time to just get the car serviced and just get it done and over with, as opposed to with the places like Suzuka East. It's not terribly large track, so especially if you just turn around at the beginning and you're able to set the speed record, then you're done. So anyway, let's move on. Tier 13, I don't see anything that's going to be terribly demanding. Same for tier 12. Oh, and then of course there's always the drag races, right? So far I haven't seen any in this final 5 tiers of this event. Speed snap at the Formula E Hong Kong circuit I think is doable even while the car's in red typically. But as I said, once again, we'll see how sticky some of these goals would turn out, right? And then speed record as Suzuka Grand Prix, I don't think will be too bad. Because once again, it depends, right? But I'm anticipating that's not necessarily going to be the one that's going to cause me to have to service the car. Speed snap at Hockenheim, I don't think so. They've noticed I'm only talking about either speed snap or speed record here. And that's about halfway there. And we do have a cup at Le Mans in tier 7. How many laps is it? Just one, right? Okay, thank goodness. With this car, I don't know if I want to run more than one lap. And then we got a speed record at Silverstone National, which shouldn't be too bad. Elimination at Le Mans. I think I should be able to stay with the lead, especially so early on in the event here. So of course earlier on I'm expecting slower bots as well. And tier 4 we finally have a drag race. That's the only drag race so far. I cannot imagine there being any other drag race in first 3 tiers. So that means this event might be doable without needing to service the car. At least that's my thought here. And so anyway, so that's a quick rundown of the limited time series for Porsche 909 Bergspyder. So let's restore. No, I'm not keeping it this way. And then properly run through this event. So stay tuned for the next video where I will be running through this championship series, and maybe I won't be what would you call it, servicing the car once. We'll see. Anyway, take care, and we'll see you in the next video.